Hey everybody, this is episode 15 of Tandem Podcast. For this month's episode, I decided to do somebody that I felt like a lot of people would be interested in because his persona online and sometimes even in person is kind of mysterious, and that person is Michael Mankong. Now, some may know of him as the notorious YouTube commenter that comments on videos first and just says like one word answers, and he's kind of gotten famous from that, but he's a terrific scooter rider and also has an interesting life. So I thought I would hit him up and ask him about that. And actually, when I contacted him to do this, he was like, well, I don't know, like I don't know if people really care, or like I'm that interesting. I'm like, no, people do want to know. So I was really excited to get an insight into behind his riding and also behind the YouTube commenting. So be sure, as always, to click on the episode notes as you're following along or after you listen to the episode. There's a lot of great stuff in there. And here he is, Michael Mankong. So what got you into scootering?
I was first into skateboarding, and I also had a bike and scooter as well. And after a while, I started riding my scooter, and after seeing some videos on YouTube, I started trying tricks on them. And also, there's a couple friends in town who also did tricks on scooters, so kept researching on YouTube. I found Coedie Donovan punk scooters, Brandon Kilbury BLT2 part, and it was just a hobby for a while I was in middle school, and I didn't think I would keep doing it for this long, but it just worked out.
Yeah, those are two really great video parts that you mentioned. It seems like New York has had a lot of different eras of scootering. So what era did you grow up in? Like, who was riding around you that you looked up to that maybe you hadn't met yet, but you knew what was going on?
Yeah, I started scootering around 2008. I didn't really know anybody other than my friends who scootered around in the same town. By 2010, my friend Harrison Lacko had Hep Greg stay over his house, and I met Greg. We rode in our town, Valley Stream in Long Island. I still didn't really know Greg that well until later on, so we just had our little crew of like local scooter riders and skateboarders. Since we lived in Long Island, we were so young, we didn't go out to the city that much. We had our own little scene until later on, where I started traveling to the city.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you started riding in 2008, and then Catalyst came out in 2010, and almost half of that video, like half of those riders, were from New York. So I'm sure that was probably huge for you and like your friends and stuff.
Yeah, once I found that video, I think on Vimeo, the full length, I was hooked. And the PROTO Box Session, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's funny that people like that box session video. I mean, they still like talk about it or whatever. I remember we just filmed it and didn't really think much of it, but so you rode with. I mean, Greg was sort of the first person that's going to be known to people who are listening to this podcast, but who were some other like notable people that you rode with for the first time?
I think I actually saw you once at Maloof, but I was still a scooter kid, so I was like starstruck. I think it was like around 2010 or 2011.
Wow, that's crazy. I had no idea.
I just like knew by your hair and like, I think the scooter setup. You were with like a bunch of other guys from Catalyst around that time. I think I also met John. I don't remember when, but
So whenever I go to New York, I ride with a lot of people. Like a lot of people come and ride, but it seems like none of them actually live in New York. So what scooter riders live in New York?
on a regular day, if I'm gonna go out and ride with people in New York, it'll either be Eric Deptula, Eric Harkless, Scott Quinn, Harrison Lacko.
Do you have any good stories of Elmer over the years? Like times you've ridden with him?
One of them, I think it was 2016. He wanted to watch Hella Good Stuff, so I drove to Lenny's house. I walked in, Elmer was asleep, and it was like 3 p.m. Lenny didn't have anything to play the DVD on. So I had my car there. We drove to the Bronx, to Elmer's crib. I think he didn't have anything to play it on either. Before going to Elmer's crib, we bounced into this graffiti photographer. I forget her name, but she has a book on subway graffiti. So once Elmer spotted her, he was hyped, and we just walked around with them for a while. And they were actually filming a documentary about New York and the graffiti now, because her book was about graffiti back then. I think the first time I met Elmer was like during that Thanksgiving session we all met up at. Like I think it was 2013. That was my first time like actually meeting Elmer.
Yeah.
We were at BQE. He did that nose blunt on the quarter. And you saw the Northern Limited video, right?
I saw it, yeah.
I missed that session, but I'm glad Elmer got a clip and he got a shirt.
Did you guys ever play the Hella Good Stuff? Were you able to do it?
No. I left it at his house by accident, and I haven't seen it ever since.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, people really don't have DVD players anymore. I guess really the only chance that someone would have a DVD player is if they have like a PS4 or like an Xbox or something like that.
He said he had it. We got there. He didn't, so I drove to the Bronx for like nothing other than meeting that photographer.
So what was Scooyork when it started?
It was basically like Greg and his crew. They'd make montages, park edits. For a while, they were making that like a huge video. I think the tapes just like, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they just never captured the tapes. Like it's not like someone's computer crashed or they didn't film enough or something. It's just I think they realized maybe how much work it was to edit it. Like I know they filmed for years and then it was like, oh, we have to capture this and edit it.
Yeah, I came into the crew like kind of late, like right before Greg moved to Philly. While I was watching their videos and I started going out to the city, it was like Greg, Yara, Ramel would come out, this guy Roy from Queens. They would film, and I think they would all just film for their own stuff. Like Greg would make videos for TSI. Yara was just starting his video for Dissidents. So they'd save their street footy and just post like park edits.
Well, there was a time that it seemed like it was completely dead. So who was in charge of starting it back up, and when did that happen?
I think he gave me full control, either when he moved to Philly or when he moved to Portland. And also he's good friends with Jaycott, and Jaycott would come out to the city all the time. So it would just be Jaycott and I, Trevor. We'd run like the Instagram, the YouTube, while Greg would also post on the YouTube as well. But Jaycott would have full control of the YouTube content because he has the VX.
Do you know if he has any more plans? Because every montage he makes is great, and they're like never long enough. Like I just always want to see more people ride more in New York.
Yeah, I know, it's in demand. I was just talking to him the other day. Yeah, he still has a lot of tapes to be capped from what Greg and them filmed back in the day. He just used like some of the good parts for that Scooyork episode.
Yeah, that was great to see the little montage in the start. That was so good.
So he has more of that. So he just has to put in the time to edit it.
Yeah, I think it's cool that he sort of understands that he's kind of the only way that people are gonna see scooter riding in New York. Like he treats it like it's a really big responsibility, and I don't know, it seems like he's actively trying to do something with it because it's like he's the one that's gonna do it.
Yeah, and he comes out a lot too and films a bunch. I have a lot of footage of New York riders too, but it's on DSLR. But that's something to look forward to. I just have to edit it.
Oh, you're gonna make like a whole video of it?
Yeah, just like a montage, not like a full length. Yeah, I always have my camera with me, and when Jacott's not around and I just want to get a clip of someone, I'll just use my camera. And I just got a Canon 80D, so the quality is definitely better, and I got that Pellinge lens, and it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, yeah. Olivia used to use that. I mean, well, I guess she doesn't anymore because she has a VX, but yeah, she was using that lens for years. So, do you have any stories about your welcome to TSI part? I think that was probably sort of when the scooter community noticed you for your riding because you were like really involved in the scooter community, but you didn't really have like a video part out, and then it came out. I was like, oh wow, like he can scooter.
Yeah, a lot of people were, when they saw that, they were like, "Wow, I never seen that side of you," or something. I bought my first TSI around 2012 or 2013. It was the Hep Greg Threshold, and before that, I just rode Phoenix parts. I really liked the TSI. There was like that 5 wide prototype TSI floating around, and I had that, and I messaged it to Greg, and he was like, "What? You have that?" Because he traded it around. I think Logan had it, then Paul Deniga and Scott Quinn. So I got it from Scott. I think Matt Tom found out I had it, and he just started talking to me. And I also took a lot of photos of Greg, so they knew my name. My scooter got stolen in 2014, so I hit up Greg for a deck, and they were kind enough to send me a new one. And I just thought about trying out for the team, so I talked to Greg. He said, make a video and we'll see. So I was on a mission to film with Jaycott whenever he came out every weekend. It took a while because I would just see him on the weekends. But I think we filmed the entire year of 2014, and the video was released on Christmas 2014.
Was your scooter that got stolen, was that the one with the prototype deck on it?
No, I eventually I sent them back the 5 wide, and then they sent me a new deck. So the hammerhead got stolen.
It's so funny that like hearing the prototype 5 wide deck, it's like that was a that was insane. I mean, now it's like the prototype 6 wide deck.
Yeah, back then it was like insane.
Yeah, I remember it being insane. I remember like, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. It might not be good.
It would just lock in the 50s really well.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, I ride the 6 wide deck now, and I kind of can't imagine 5 anymore.
But now we're working on a signature deck, but it's gonna be 5 wide, 5 wide Paramount, probably a V4 version of it.
So is it gonna be like a certain colorway, or what's gonna be the signature aspect?
Since they don't do graphics on the bottom or anything, we're gonna have a signature graphic head tube sticker. I wanted to have deck ends like the box cutter has, because all the Paramounts just have like the reinforcements and it would still close on the back end. The neck comes out a little bit more like the box cutter, so I feel like it's definitely going to be stronger than all the Paramounts, so people won't be shouldn't be afraid of it snapping it quickly as the others.
You're one of the few people that I think make tall bars look good. I think it usually just I don't know, it's just like the eyesore in footage when people's bars are too tall. Did you gradually go up to what you ride, and is it just sort of like a comfort thing?
A couple years ago, I was afraid of getting like back problems, so I just wanted to get some taller bars to reduce that. A couple years ago, I went up to like 30 tall, and that was too wild. I don't know what I was thinking. So now I ride a 28 and a half or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, that's still pretty tall. Do you have to ride like oversized because of that height?
No, I ride standard. I think I made the jump from like to 26 when 26 was really tall. Like it seemed tall. I think that's when people started noticing.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, for a while, like scooter companies just wanted to cut material in 2 foot sections, like 24 inches, and then the SES would raise it an inch and a half or 2 inches if you had a full size one, and like a couple more inches would just make the length they had to cut like a random amount. So at least I remember like that's why Proto was kind of hesitant about making bars taller than 24 inches out of the SES.
So yeah, I run 28 with the SES.
Do they ever feel like they're flexing too much for you?
Not really. But when I see other people on my scooter, it looks funny.
Yeah, well, because I know like J-Cot and other people that ride really tall bars, they ride oversized because it flexes a lot less.
I think I've seen J-Cot scooter kind of flex.
So how did the Creep nickname get started?
Greg and Chase Robertson came up with that when they were doing the Degenerate stickers. That was like their theme. And they just came up with it. They sent me the image. And they're like, "Are you down?" I'm like, "Yep, it works." It's funny. They made like a limited amount of all those stickers of the team riders, and I just like saved the image and then started printing out my own and giving them out to homies. They all love it. It's so funny. They put it on their scooter, on their car, or just slap it around when they travel. I think Badger put one in Germany, and Eric put some overseas too.
Yeah, I know it's becoming like sort of this like icon of scootering, like this image. That's what I was gonna say. I know you put them everywhere you travel, like all over the country. People are putting them all over the world. That's crazy. Yeah, I wonder because I don't know, like people tend to go to similar spots or the same spots regardless of whether they're riding a scooter or a skateboard or whatever. And I wonder if skaters are like travel all over the country and are at spots and be like, man, what is this thing? Like, what does it mean?
Probably. Greg tags me in these photos of creep stickers that people take, like random Instagram accounts, like sticker pages, and I'm just like on their page. I sent a bunch to Outset, so that's how they probably reached overseas too. And the Vault made a shirt with all 9 of the faces, the team members, on the back of a shirt.
Oh, I never saw that. Huh.
So people are wearing it now, and Ernie Young offered to make grip tape for me with the Creep logo on it. So that exists too. I feel like it's a lot. It's like a bit much of, it's like overdoing the Creep thing, but
Yeah, it's like the franchise of the Creep image. Like you can get Creep anything.
I'm waiting for the day someone gets the Creep tattoo on them.
Oh man.
Maybe Ramel, because I don't know if you've seen his tattoos lately. He's got a Raptor tattoo, like the Raptor scooter grip company logo, and like a Envy tattoo. I don't know. He's going off. His girlfriend's like a tattoo artist. They're like not high quality. I don't know if you'll ever listen to this, so
Wait, is Raptor even a scooter company anymore?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people have the Proto tattoo.
Yeah.
And I've seen people get just randomly for some reason like the artwork for the Tilt Tomahawk fork. I've seen a lot of people get that tattooed specifically.
People also get TSI Tattoos to get a free deck. It's like not really a thing, but Tom offers it.
Damn, how many people have done that?
A good amount. Even a homie who lives in Long Island. Do you know that TSI shirt with the Greg's cat on it?
Yeah.
A friend got that on his bicep and then got a sledge deck for free. A couple years ago, Sam Thomas got a stick and poke. He stick and poked his own leg on video of the TSI logo or something. Or just said TSI.
It's a bummer that Sam doesn't ride anymore. His part in DC Diaries was like it was like the first and only time I saw him scooter.
He's awesome. I met him in Philly one day. We had a big session while Greg, Logan, and McKean were living at the house. I came down, Sam came up with his friend Miguel, and I was with like a bunch of Long Island dudes too. Parrish told me one day that Sam was driving up to Vermont. I hitched a ride with Sam and his buddy, so I got to know him really well. And I think that was the first time I met Parrish too.
Was that in Burlington?
It was at his house, the town. It's like near Manchester.
So how many albums with photos of scooter riding do you have on Facebook?
I think I just hit 585. Because I made my first one around the time I started scootering. Like, it started with like a Sprint phone that would slide open. And you'd take a picture and it would take it 3 seconds later.
Wow, that's crazy.
I decided to put those on Facebook. And at that time, Facebook, their album, the photo limit was 200 per album. And I just didn't know what to call it, so I put I don't know, and then I made I don't know 2, and now it's I don't know 585. Yeah, it's just started getting a lot of photos once I got a camera, so I started taking more, and albums grew.
Yeah, I mean, that must be like a massive archive of New York scootering over the years.
Yeah, for a while I was just like, oh, I hate Facebook. I just want to delete it, but I can't. So many photos.
Yeah, do you ever go back through them?
Yeah, sometimes if I'm trying to remember something, I'd go back or just for fun.
Have you ever thought of editing them down and maybe like doing something with it?
What do you mean?
I don't know, like maybe making a book or just like maybe just like a web page or something like that.
That would be cool. I know one of my friends wants to make a zine with all my photos.
Yeah, that'd be good for it. Yeah.
And I also have like some prints that my friend offered to do for me. I should have brought them to the Chicago after party last year when everyone had their stuff hanging up.
It probably takes so long to edit those down. You just have to do it like really fast, like yes, no, and just keep just constantly going.
I just took some photos of Logan and Jessi this past week. They were here. They're doing like a East Coast trip from New York to I think Georgia. I took some really cool photos and I really want to like maybe get them printed.
That's an interesting connection. Like why was Jessi in America?
Logan and him just clicked and they're just hitting the biggest handrails on the East Coast.
Sick.
They also have Brian Noyes and Mike Holman along with them.
Yeah, those guys never stop. I'm excited to see. I won't be able to make it to the Chicago Jam, but hopefully it comes out somewhere else after, like their video part that's gonna premiere at the Chicago Jam.
Yeah, I kind of heard about that. It's
Yeah.
Mike and Brian's, right?
Yeah, I guess like a shared part or something. I have no idea how long it's gonna be. I mean, they've been filming for like 2 years or more,
Since
right?
their last split part. Jacob was with them in New York filming, and I was like, Jacob, are you gonna go all the way to Georgia with them? And he was like, no way, I can't. They're on like a budget. And I don't know how much they eat.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Like they don't really eat much at all. I guess speaking of eating, what made you start eating vegan?
I think I was like researching on YouTube, like remedies for like acne, and I just came across a YouTuber who was vegan. They had links in their description for like documentaries, speeches. So I just like was interested. I looked into all that stuff and I found out how healthy you could be on a vegan diet and the benefits. So that all happened around while I was 19 and I decided to go vegetarian. It was great, but then I looked at what was wrong with the dairy industry and egg industry and how it also affects your health. But I didn't think I could afford like a vegan diet because it seemed so expensive. I looked into it more and also videos of what people ate in a day. And yeah, oatmeal, potatoes, rice, beans, seasonal fruit and vegetables, they're pretty cheap.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's a huge misconception about it that people always say. I mean, I can definitely understand the products that you don't need but are good, like cheese, like vegan cheese or like
Yeah.
vegan sausages or whatever. Like, yeah, that stuff is expensive, but you don't need that.
So I went vegan at age 20. On like October 1st, 2016, I decided to go vegan after being vegetarian for about a year and a half. Yeah, it's pretty easy after a while.
Did you notice it having effect on your scooter riding, like how quickly you recovered from being sore and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely recovery, I noticed. I recovered faster. But I also never ate that much meat beforehand, so I didn't feel that much different. But I can see the difference as my friends keep on eating it and scootering, and we're all aging. I could see it playing how it plays out for them, and I feel like I'm just staying the same.
But you're really involved in like the sort of like activism side of it too, right? Like it's not just you eat the diet.
About last year, this really popular vegan activist came to New York, and I wanted to meet him. While we did that, he held a demonstration. We did activism, and I met a lot of people, and they got me into it. And I just watched like a lot of activism on YouTube. It feels good, like helping out people, because some people don't know where their food comes from. A lot of the demonstrations I volunteer at, they're like friendly, open to the public. We're not like shouting at people. So we have some really good conversations, and we try to change people's minds.
How often do you do those? Is it like a frequent thing?
Yeah, the events happen in New York weekly. So I try to do a couple every month. And I started bringing my scooter when I was first going. If it was like a short event, I would go ride after. And a lot of people like notice my scooter, and that's what they know me by now.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
So there was this vegan activist who's also an artist, had a music video done at the Globe by Maloof in Flushing. So he was like, "Bring your scooter. I want you to be in the video." So it was like a music video.
Oh, really? Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube now.
Damn, how do you find it? Where is it? I want to see it.
Type that in, "Can I Live" music video, Philly Stallone.
Yeah, for sure. I'll look that up.
Everyone was like holding up signs. The wind was blowing. It was filmed on a drone. I have the opening clip on the ledge by the grate by the fountain. Once I posted about the video of the music video, Greg instantly texted me, and he was like, "You're a real New Yorker for being in a music video now." Have you seen him in that Scooter Kills music video?
No, what is that?
It was just like Greg riding around Tribeca, and the song is called "My Scooter Kills." I feel like you've seen it.
Nah, dude. I would for sure remember that. I mean, there's very few things like that out there. I mean, you've seen like the Andrew Broussard DMX video, right?
I've heard of it. You've talked about it, but I think we can't find it anymore, right?
No, you can. It's still on YouTube. Yeah, yeah. No, no. I'll have to look that up about Greg. I've never seen that. Have other scooter riders seen that? Do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still on YouTube. That's something Greg and I have in common. We've both been in music videos, scootering. But his one had a lot more scooter riding and fingerboarding also.
What? Damn. Do you ever? I mean, I know you mentioned it kind of, but like your other friends that scooter, do you ever mention it to them, like anything about it? Because I don't know. I've been on trips with a lot of people, and I just see them eating Taco Bell like 10 days straight. I'm like, man, I don't know how these people are gonna like keep scootering, and I want to see them keep scootering.
I used to not talk about it, and I would just post stuff on Facebook, and then people would direct message me, like, "Don't post that stuff," or they're not interested. So I just like didn't even bring it up in person. And if we go out to eat, I do my own thing. Like, I used to see Parrish do it. He'd just run off to the grocery store and get a watermelon or something. I still won't talk about it. I do my own thing, but they would talk about it. They would bring it up to me. I don't know. They would just say, I wish I can go vegan, but I like this and that, and I can't give up this and that. Yeah, it comes up a lot. I also have vegan statements or quotes on my grip tape too. That's always noticeable.
Is it ever hard for you on scooter trips to find places to eat, especially when you're somewhere in America that you need a car and you're just kind of like, okay, I have my scooter and the car is in the parking lot and I can't drive it?
Sometimes it's hard in New York too. It depends where we are. If we're in Manhattan or Brooklyn, I can easily go to a vegan food joint. But if we're in the Bronx, I'm like, I gotta have food on me, like a snack.
Yeah, it's all about those bars, right?
Yeah, I have like cashews or Lar bars on me. The Speak guys and I went to Philly. Last year we were on our way to Chicago. We did a road trip and we stopped in Philly, and it was cool because I didn't even have to say anything. They all decided to go to a vegan place called like Blackbird Pizzeria. It was an all vegan place, and they all bought vegan food, so that was cool. And Dennis Leveska, he tells me he doesn't eat that much meat, so when we're on trips, him and I do our own thing. We'd go to Whole Foods, bring stuff back and cook.
Yeah, it's usually like you find that one person or those like two other people. It's like, all right, we're eating 3 meals a day together.
He told me we were food buddies. Go get Chipotle, while everyone else would get Popeyes or something.
Yeah, Chipotle is like it's like the McDonald's of vegan food because they're everywhere. So and you know the food will be like somewhat reliable and like somewhat good for you. So that's always the go-to. And I feel like sometimes I'm like so sick of it, like maybe eat it twice a day or something. It's like, man, I just can't do this anymore.
We did a TSI tour last summer. It was before Chicago. I flew out to Portland. We drove down to SD, and yeah, I think I did my own thing, like food-wise. Everyone would go get breakfast sandwiches or something, or just like sandwiches at a fast food joint. I would just walk to the nearest grocery store and get some fruit or like bean chips. My go-to is like a smoothie and bean chips, just so I can get like those calories in and protein.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I usually pack a lot of bars to eat throughout the day, and sometimes it's like I I feel like I eat so many that it just won't do it. Like I need a real meal. Like I'll eat like 2 or 3 bars. I'm like, all right, I should probably actually eat a meal instead of doing this.
But it's cool that places nowadays have a veggie option. The other day, we went to a cheap burrito joint in Brooklyn. You know, everyone got their thing. I got my like a vegetable burrito.
I'm sure this is probably the question people are most wondering about this whole podcast, but how do you comment so quickly on YouTube videos? I really want to know. Everybody wants to know. How do you do it?
Even before like YouTube sent notifications to your straight to your phone. If I wasn't scootering, I'd be on the computer, probably just on YouTube refreshing and like not like refreshing on purpose, but I would just always be on YouTube. If I go to the homepage, something came up, I would just like instantly click on it. I would watch the video before commenting, but nowadays sometimes I don't know. I just comment just to just to mark my territory. And it's funny because sometimes I won't get there every time, but people will get there before me and they'd say, "I'm here before Mankong."
Yeah, all the time. All the time people say that. Yeah.
It's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's why people knew you before your Welcome to TSI part came out, because it's like, oh, it's that guy that comments on YouTube videos all the time.
I remember people would get like annoyed by it.
That's weird. I don't know. It's just funny.
Because I used to get before I was on TSI, I would do photography for scooter companies and get free parts. People would just say like comments on videos gets free parts.
Damn, yeah, I don't think that's the case. But Yeah, I remember actually the first time I rode with you, I was like, okay, he's for sure gonna be on his phone all day long, and I would like because I don't know, I guess I probably just should have asked you, but I was like watching you like, all right, he's gonna get on his phone, like he's gonna comment on all these YouTube videos, and then you like never got on your phone the whole day. I was like, what? Like, how is he doing this? Like, does he have like robot commenters or something? That's actually I remember there was like a rumor. I don't know if you knew about that, but I forget who told me. They're like yeah man, Mankong has like robots that he like set up robots to comment on YouTube videos.
Someone said that to me. They were like asking me. I was like, no, it's just me. And sometimes I'd get a notification on my phone, because that's what happens nowadays. And they would just like look at me commenting, like, "What are you gonna comment this time?" I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's private.
Yeah, because I'll be just like on my computer and refresh YouTube, and there was like a scooter video that was posted like 2 minutes ago. I was like, all right, like nobody's gonna have commented on this. And I just go to him like, what? He's on it? Like, how did he do it? Do you feel like you need to keep up with it? Is it like is it like the like the comment legacy?
Yeah, sometimes I'm just like, I don't even feel like commenting on this thing, but I'll just do it anyways. It'll be like I don't know, an edit that probably no one would watch too.
Also, too, there's been really insane times where it's like, okay, so like it won't be a scooter video. It'll just maybe be like some like really low key song that was in some like random scooter video, and I'll be on the song on YouTube, like the track, and you'll just have a comment on it. I'm like, what? Or there'll be some random connection, like I don't know, like some scooter rider's friend that like skates, and you'll have like a comment on the skate part.
On one of the Dylan Readers videos, when he passed away last year or 2 years ago, I just wrote like "Rest in Peace" or "R.I.P. Dylan" with like a rose emoji, and it got like a lot of thumbs up, on YouTube. Someone just screenshotted and sent me that, and they were like, "How?"
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Just going to that video part, I was like, God, he's here too? Like,
Yeah, I'm always lurking.
in relation to being on the YouTube videos quick, how was working for Scooter Resource like? Because that's essentially what you did. You sort of like curated YouTube videos that came out every month.
I would just like give my feedback on the video on how it was. I first did that in 2014. I did it till 2017. I got like kind of burned out
Yeah, it's understandable.
because I was the only one running, like active on the site other than Bobby Pantano. He would do articles. So I took a little break. Yeah, they would email me saying what's going on. Further down, I saw Andrew at the Reincarnate premiere in New York in last December. And he was just like, "Are you over SR?" I'm like, "Not really." Right before January hit, we were starting up SR again. 6 months later now. Since David Bledsoe and Andrew, they've been pretty busy with all the other TGE brands. They haven't gotten to SR yet, but I would just be active on Instagram, like getting kids hyped if we repost their content. But the site should be back up before ScooterCon this summer, so next month, I think. So hopefully we get that rolling again. Because I remember you said you enjoyed those on Daniel Walters' podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think they're really important because nowadays everything gets seen and forgotten so quick, and then it's also there's so much to see that you can't see it all. And I think it's really important for a platform like that and like someone like you to be like, hey, you should watch these videos like of this month, because if you're not subscribed to the channel that the video comes out on YouTube, it's kind of like you never see it, and you really miss out on it. And that's okay for a lot of stuff. Like there's a lot of videos that aren't worth seeing out there, but yeah, I think it's like a really important role for somebody to sort through all that and curate it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the only one or one of the only ones who like care about that stuff and like would actually put the time in to like hook people up with some to show like their videos to get more views and have more attention. That was one of my favorite things about sharing those videos because there would be a lot of low-key videos that I think would really be worthwhile.
Yeah, I love discovering people that I'd never heard of just from like some random place, and the video would be great. I that was so cool.
Will Rosati and like Noah Rizzer and those guys, they pump out a lot of footy, and it gets like not that many views as it should.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So video guys like those, I just want to get them more recognition. That was cool to do with SR, and hopefully we can do that again.
What do you want to accomplish with scootering in the future? Like, do you have any goals, or where do you want it to take you? What do you want to do with it?
I always think about that. I really want to make cool content for people to look back on. So with YouTube videos, photos.
Is there anything you're working on right now? Like a video project or something? Other than the montage you said you were gonna make? Are you gonna be in that montage?
It's mostly just of what I filmed, so it's not, probably nothing of me unless I start filming I'll have a homie film me. Yeah, like not a lot of the guys know how to film that well or how I would like it for that montage. But other than that, I have some footy saved up for the next Speak full length. And I'm thinking about maybe making a video for my SIG deck. Will and the guys from Philly came up to Massachusetts a couple weekends ago, and I got a couple clips for their video. They're making a full length, but they're making a separate video for the Massachusetts footage.
Yeah, I saw the video you made when you guys were getting like VX clips on the like roller disco skating rink. That was so funny.
I didn't even know they were doing that because they were like filming a little hoodie promo. So like Dennis was wearing the hoodie and like flying past everyone on the blades. It should be cool.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like just seeing that clip, it was so weird that there were all those people skating on the rink, and they were kind of just all like oblivious that like they were like filming with the VX. Like it seemed like no one even noticed.
That was my first time roller skating. It was crazy to see like locals there going hard.
It's pretty tough. I've done it before. I don't know. It just feels weird because your feet are like not connected.
Yeah, it felt like, and like the skates were like really stiff. So it was fun though.
I'll get out of this call right now, but thanks a lot for doing this. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks for having me and for making these podcasts and everything else you do for scootering.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, see ya.
All right, talk to you later.
That's it for episode 15 with Michael Mankong. I hope you enjoyed it. The next episode is going to be something pretty interesting. It's going to be the first ever non-scooter rider on this podcast, but he is very involved in the scooter industry, so that should be interesting. And as always, thanks to Ben Bursell for the graphic design and music for this podcast. If you have any questions or suggestions, email thetandempod@gmail.com and subscribe on the iTunes podcast app so you can get a notification when each one comes out, or on the YouTube if that's what you prefer. And be sure to check for the new episode on the last Friday of every month. So I will see you next month.